Hey everyone, it's Chris from Platform 9. Today I want to take you through Private Cloud Director and how we've integrated in Kubernetes to provide the simplest managed control plane in a private data center. I'm just going to sign in. Signing into our default domain, that's a way we can segregate resources at a very high level. Think about maybe Coke and Pepsi running side by side. What you can see on the screen right now is how we manage virtual machines and infrastructure as a service. And very tightly integrated with this is Kubernetes. To get to the Kubernetes capabilities, all I do here is in the top left-hand corner, click on virtual clusters and change to our Kubernetes view. Immediately you can see I've got a few clusters from doing things already. Every cluster that's deployed here deploys with what we call a hosted control plane. That means as administrator, you don't have to deploy virtual machines that are running the Kubernetes control plane services, things like the API server, controller, and scheduler. All of that is running as part of the Platform 9 Private Cloud Director management plane. And that operates exactly like it would if you were running within EKS, AKS, or GKE. So what does that look like? Well, if I want to deploy a new cluster, I click here, I can see the tenant that it's getting deployed into on your infrastructure in your environment. I can see that I've only got 2 vCPUs left, so I probably are not going to be successful deploying this cluster. And I can see here that I'm choosing a managed control plane. That means that in Private Cloud Director, whether it's being consumed as SaaS, where we're running it for you, or installed in your data center, just like you would have if you were running something like a VMware and a vCenter, right? That deployment of Private Cloud Director is actually hosting the Kubernetes control plane services. When you deploy that cluster, all you're doing is saying, hey, I'm going to choose the type of virtual machine I want to deploy in my environment, in this case, 2 vCPUs and 4 gig of RAM that might fit with what I have left. And I'm going to say I just want one of them. I am going to enable autoscaling. I'm just going to leave this as 1, but you can do this after the fact as well. I'm going to come in and choose the network that's part of my Private Cloud Director setup where my VMs are running today. I'm going to choose a subnet as well. And importantly, I'm going to choose a Kubernetes version. I'm going to choose 131 because I don't want to see that upgrade option. If I want to customize my API server, scheduler, or controller, I can do that here. Maybe I want to turn on audit logging. That's where you would do that. And lastly, we're able to choose which add-ons we want running with our environment. Obviously, core DNS is required. Calico, which is networking, is also required. I'm going to choose to turn on MetaLB, and I'm just going to say test-cj for my name as the cluster's name. And it's as simple as that. I get to come in here and click Deploy Cluster. This is going to spin up a new set of control plane services within Private Cloud Director. Private Cloud Director is also going to connect to those hypervisor nodes and say, hey, I need to go spin up a new virtual machine. And it's going to do that. And it's importantly going to do that within the tenant that I told it to deploy that in. And that's the tenant that I have access to either as an administrator or a self-service user. So while that's building and spinning up, I'm actually going to change to test new. This is a cluster that's already running. I can see the control plane's ready, the node groups are running, and I've got 4 worker nodes. If I drill in, I can see a little bit more information around the health there. I can add a new node group, right? Maybe I want to isolate my Kubernetes applications to different types of nodes. Maybe they've got GPUs, maybe some have got faster disks, different types of volumes that are backing them. Maybe they've just got more CPUs and RAM. Or maybe I want to augment an existing node group that's already there. Here I can come in, add, remove. I can say I only want 2 desired nodes and I want autoscaling to only autoscale to 3. And I can change the strategy that the scaling happens on. I can click Save Changes. Now I can see immediately that that node group is scaling down and these VMs here will actually get terminated and removed from the tenant that they're running in. Now, because this is a single platform and those VMs truly are part of the Private Cloud Director environment, if I click on one of these, I'm actually going to get navigated back to that virtual cluster management view that I was in originally. And I can see this virtual machine that was part of that Kubernetes cluster. I can see its tasks, and I highly suspect I've just chosen a VM that is getting scaled down. So if I click back here to VM instances, I'm in the same platform, I haven't gone anywhere, and I can see all those VMs that are part of different Kubernetes clusters. Really simplifying the management and making it work exactly like the public cloud experience, right? No management nodes to administer, no services to keep running. All of that is handled by Platform 9. Going back to our Kubernetes cluster view, I can see that my new cluster is there, it's scaling up. I can also see here that my 2 existing ones have upgrades available. Touch on that very quickly. To upgrade, it's very simple. I click upgrade. I can see the version I'm upgrading to. If there was multiple to choose from, that would be available in my dropdown. And I can come in here and change my upgrade strategy. This is a rolling update. If I'm happy with that, I click save and I click upgrade cluster. I'm not going to do that right now, as there might be someone using that and they'll get quite upset if that was kicked off unexpectedly. And with that, that concludes my introduction to Private Cloud Director and working with Kubernetes clusters with a hosted control plane. Thank you for your time. If you'd like to know more, head to platform9.com and reach out. Thanks, and bye.